Hello everybody, today we got another video for CookieLoL's, who is an 80 carry challenger EU West main, but he might be transitioning to the top lane and maining Jax pretty soon. Now this is going to be a response to the allegations that were made in the previous video, which you can check out on my channel, but this is what he said. First, I want to preface all of this by saying that I was not a good person in my past. I let down people with payments as well as words and promises. I was creepy and overly sexual in inappropriate circumstances, and generally speaking, being a dick. These actual screenshots were from June 2020, in which I just had turned 20. And although I should have been mature adult at the point, but I was not. I'd like to start apologizing to everyone that I hurt, especially the girl referred to as X. Started talking to X in early 2020, around the same time where I had quit professional play to start streaming, and I had about 200 to 300 viewers at the time. I was lonely, sad, as well as lost as what I wanted to be. I started to watch I Keep It Taco, and he was my favorite streamer, and I really loved hanging around this community as it made me feel happy. I met her in this community, and at first I thought nothing of it, but then we started talking and I found her interesting. Looking back, I feel disgusted and absolutely ashamed of myself. For one, not making sure that she's really into me before making any sort of flirty or sexual acts, and two, not stopping after she mentioned that she is not above 18. Growing up in Sweden, I never thought that a 3-year gap at that age was very weird, and the legal age of consent was 15. At the time, I had just turned 20 and she was about to turn 17. And I did not think there was anything wrong with sexually flirting with her. Obviously, this is completely wrong and there's no excuse. On top of this, I was shit at reading the room, but it was never my intention to make her feel uncomfortable. I am disgusted looking back at this. I'm not trying to justify this behavior in the slightest, but I wanted to give some context on my thought process back then, and now I'm aware that's completely wrong, and I just feel disgusted when I look back at it for what I typed and to who. I'm sorry, X. I never wanted to make you feel uncomfortable or hurt you in any way. 13. Oh. There are words around about a 13-year-old. Story behind that is that I and my friends were in a public voice chat on the Discord server trying to balance back in the day, and we were hanging out, and there were times when discussions would become sexual, but nothing I ever said was directed at anyone underage, let alone the age of 13. It's still extremely inappropriate to discuss sexual things in the presence of an underage, and I deeply regret not handling that better. X. In one of the screenshots, I talked about how I aped a girl, but I will never make that mistake again. When I was 19, had an older girlfriend that I loved so much. She was my first, and I was also a virgin back then. I had no experience whatsoever, and she also told me that she had never felt good doing anything sexual before. I wanted to help her as much as I could, so I tried to figure out how to pleasure a girl by looking at tutorial videos on how to I'm gonna turn off the music. Okay. On how to finger while also being gentle, since she had been through a traumatic moment in her life that made sex hard. We were together, we loved each other so much. I was staying over at her family's place and we were just cuddling and watching movies. She moved my hand to her crotch and I noticed she was very wet, so I started to slowly finger her as I saw on the tutorial videos, and she seemed to be enjoying it. I should ask if I can keep going to reassure she wants it, but I didn't. After 5 to 10 seconds, I noticed she was completely frozen up, and then after comforting her, I kept going, and since she hadn't told me to stop again, I should had reassured everything was okay. She told me afterwards she was uncomfortable. I felt so terrible about it. In some countries, lack of consent isn't considered ape, but I consider this ape. There's no excuse for this. It was on me to make sure that this is consensual, and I failed to do so. I'm ashamed to this day. As the screenshot says, I would never make that mistake again. Nothing like that has ever happened and never will. Oh, Jesus Christ. Besides these circumstances, there have also been other times where I had been a creep to those above 18 plus, and this is my due to lack of maturity and ability to read the room. I'm an actually sexual person, but there's absolutely no reason to make others feel uncomfortable, and honestly, I was just being extremely creepy looking back. I hadn't been much with girls, and I had very little experience with girls. I sucked at reading a room and ended up making people feel uncomfortable. For screenshots of sexual encounters I had after 2020, I know it was not one-sided. The people I was sexual with were over 18 and had been sexually towards me as well. If I still made someone uncomfortable during this time, I'm sorry. With this being said, sexual experience is no way for being a creep. I'm truly sorry to those who I made feel uncomfortable. I'm not that guy anymore. I'd always been extremely bad with payments during my career, and I mentioned this before, but there is really no excuse. I made promises that I couldn't keep due to the lack of funds, and then bills kept on stacking it up and made it things harder and harder to pay in time. This is something that I'm still trying to be better at, and I have made good progress, and something I'll keep working on until there's absolutely no issues. Okay, well, there's been a bit of a time, to work on it. It's pretty easy. Just pay it, I've been working on paying everyone back on money. It doesn't make up for not paying when I should have, but I am doing my best to make up for it now. You can contact any of the recent editors, thumbnail artists, etc. about this if you'd like to hear their perspective. This is all I have to say. I don't expect to be forgiven. Okay, well, guys, there's a lot of things going on, right? So Sancho's response. Oh.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's get right into this, man. Oh, fuck off, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not looking good for you, man. I don't know. You're a weird guy. I don't know. Fuck it.
Anyways, this apology is not it. Do better next time. Spare the graphic details of your rape. What the fuck? Don't read this. There's specific details that we assaulted someone. What the fuck? Someone might say that's how the cookie crumbles. Thanks. Just vomit on my key. Oh, here we go. So, Amelia, if you didn't think age gaps were that bad, why did you... this is a big word, guys. I don't know what this means. Vehemently deny it, flirting with anyone underage when asked about it. No, you knew it was wrong. His entire twit longer is disgusting. Get off the internet and get some help. Your excuses help no one, at least all of you. And then, this is the most interesting part, right? I'm ashamed of myself, and I'm deeply sorry to all those that have been affected by my behavior over the last years. I panicked and wrote a statement that probably felt insincere and wasn't my intention. I will talk about everything live on stream 15th April at 7 p.m. CET. Damn. Gotta get that ad revenue. Okay. Well, I mean, I've seen this before. At this point, I don't really care. So, I'm so curious to see what happens on the 15th. This is, yeah. This is... This part was the worst. Oh, I'm not sure about this one. I don't know why. I don't know why you had to just... Man, why'd you put this one in? This was horrible. All right, whatever. Fuck this. I'm out.